Good morning, Bianca.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm well.
Hmm, Juggling a lot at once. I'm not even in my own workspace. I am doing a resource table at Sir Metro for D-Win right now.
Okay.
And luckily I'm with two people, so like they're able to cover it while I'm doing this.
Yes, this comes first.
I was like, oh, I can't leave them behind. No, I cannot. So let's go ahead and get this
Only
done.
multitasking.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, where is Miss? Hmm. Okay. Maybe they're going to bring her on screen after you.
Maybe. Um, yeah, I'm going with the flow, but I think so.
Okay. So we will. Oh, there she is. All right. So we are ready to rock and roll. Good morning and welcome again to everyone. Thank you for choosing this session. My name is Manya Gill. I am a prevention outreach coordinator with the Empowerment Zone Coalition. And I am going to introduce our first speaker, which is Miss Bianca Miles. Bianca Miles is a limited licensed master social worker who works with the who is a youth involvement specialist for Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network. She is a recent graduate of Wayne State University, obtaining her MSW in May 2021. Congratulations. She graduated from Western Michigan University with her BSW in April 2020. Bianca entered the field with aspirations to give back to the community that helped raise her. Working with the youth in the Detroit area, she always finds a piece of herself in every youth she gets to serve, reminding herself and the community she serves that there's good in our city and other cities across the nation. Bianca is a proud member of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated and enjoys cooking in her free time. So I give you the floor, Ms. Bianca Miles.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Maya, for introducing me. Today, I'm going to give you a little story about who I am and how I am relating to surviving to thriving. I only have a few minutes, so I'm going to try to make this real short, right? So, a big piece of a big moment that stood out to me in my time here on this earth is when I was younger and I experienced homelessness for a few years of my life. I was about 9 when my parents and I, couldn't, things happened and we had to be homeless in order to, get things together and squared away for us. For me, that was a big thing, I didn't realize how big it was until I was older and realized how unnormal, or not okay that was to be young and be in elementary school, middle school, and facing homelessness. Um, a lot of the people I worked with, a lot of the adult supports that was around, the social workers in the schools, were expecting me to lash out often, expecting me to fail, to not be the smart student I was, to be often suspended. So they were really expecting to help and support me, which was great. But it was all because I didn't realize that my situation I was going through wasn't considered normal, right? Going into middle school, from that experience, is when it started to click in slowly for me. I grew up not obviously I didn't grow up on the richer side of things, so I always experienced not having the best clothes, not having the best things. So how did I come to where I am now with this master's degree and being able to excel through school? Is I remained and remembered my goals. I remained steadfast on my goals. Um, my biggest mantra in life is to remember your reasons why. Because your reasons why will often lead you to forget why you started your journey to begin with. From the time I knew what higher education was, I knew I wanted to attain it. I knew I wanted to achieve it. I didn't know if I was going to go into social work directly or if I was going to be a teacher. At the time, I wanted to be a teacher. But I knew I wanted to get into school. I knew for me, that was my way out of the situations that I experienced to break the generational curses. Um, and that was my one motivation to lead me into the past that I have taken today to get me to where I am now. I say this to say, as we are youth and parents of our youth, to remind our youth to remember to remain steadfast on their goals, to remember their reasons why. One thing my parents always implemented in me is, what do you want to do? Where do you want to be when you grow up? What are the things that you are interested in? And they always made sure that they understood what my interests are, what I wanted to do. And they always put me into things to get to there. So I would definitely say my support system with my parents definitely helped me to get to where I am today. But even with your support systems, one thing I've learned growing up is that sometimes you will have to have self motivation to get to the things that you want to get to. So I definitely say, as youth, as we're get into this ideal of surviving to thriving, um, in order to thrive, one key reminder, I'm gonna keep saying it, is to remember your reasons why. Remembering your reasons why will remain in your head, and it will always remind you why you're doing what you're doing. Sometimes the obstacles may shift. You may have to turn left when you was planning on turning right. You may have to go up when you thought you were going down. You may have to go down when you thought you were coming up. So no matter what, this is all a part of the journey that you're going through to be embarking on. And I'm here to show you all that it is possible. I'm still a long ways away from where I want to be. I'm only 22 and I'm just starting my life. So it'll all work out in the end. And thank you for listening. And I would definitely take any questions if individuals have any. Besides that, that is all I have.
Oh, we can't hear you, Manya.
The mute button is not on the bottom there. Mm.
Yeah, it should be right on the underneath your photo, your video. Huh. Maya, do you want me to do anything? Do you want me to lead anything? I know I want to hear you, girl. I'll try to hear you, girl. I want to hear you going out, okay?
Ryan said try refreshing in the
Yeah, maybe you
chat.
have to leave and come back.
Yeah.
Leave and come back. Awesome, awesome. First of all, Bianca, I just want to say your story. I know y'all don't know who I am. Y'all like, who was this girl talking? But Bianca, I just want to say your story is really, really, really powerful. And first of all, when you said I'm 22, I was like, What was I doing at 22? Because all this wisdom you have is fantastic. We back, Maya. Yeah.
Everyone,
Okay, let me go ahead and be quiet. Let me hop
Right.
off. Thank you, Bianca.
Bianca, you just said you want to want to go left, but you got to turn right or up, down. Woo! Okay, let him use you. Let him use you. I wanted to thank you for sharing your story of resilience and talking about your support system, which is key. And I like that. Remember your reasons why. That was an awesome story. And you are truly an inspiration. And I'm glad you're working where you are with the young people. So thank you for that. All right.
Thank
So
you.
we are going to move on and introduce our presenter, Miss Audra Bryant. Audra Bryant is a performing artist, TV producer, empowerment coach, author, and motivational speaker who has worked for shows on various networks and streaming platforms, including NBC, OWN, BET, Netflix, and for shows like America's Got Talent and Steve Harvey's Big Time. As a songwriter and comedian, Audra uses music and humor to navigate audiences through the depths of their physical and emotional scars. Her motto is, who says you can't smile and heal at the same time? So without further ado, I will turn this over to Miss Audra Bryant. Audra Bryant, you have the floor.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much, Manya. I appreciate you. It's so good to be here. I'm a Detroit native, and so it's really, really wonderful to connect with my hometown and this organization. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity. So today we are talking about surviving to thriving. And I added a little element in there, the power of choice, because I'm a believer that we absolutely have a choice when it comes to what we do in life. And whether we're just staying in survival mode or whether we really are truly thriving. So, but first, in all of that good stuff, first I want to tell you, I'm just a person that likes to talk, okay? I got it from my daddy because my daddy likes to talk. So I want y'all to talk to me. I don't want this to just be Audra up here saying some things. I want you guys to really get to a space where you're like, okay, you know what? I have a question. I'm gonna ask this, or I'm gonna, I want this to be an interactive type of thing. Okay. So there is going to be a kind of a question answer type of thing. Is going to be a share a quick story, and then let's break some stuff down. So it will be some interactive elements, and I want you to feel comfortable. So I'm going to share. I'm going to first start off with, like a little story. Okay. So I want you to imagine this. All right. I want you to imagine you are an artist, like a performing artist. Okay. And you love to do, say you do music, right? So you're a performing artist and you do music. You also have a sibling who is also a performing artist. They do music as well. Okay. Now imagine your sibling is traveling the world, making millions of dollars. Everybody knows who this person is. I mean, they are topping the charts all the time. They are in every magazine. They're like one of the best looking people in the world, so to speak. I mean, this person's popular. Your sibling is popular. Now, imagine, you're trying to make your way, and say your second album you release, you're all excited about it, and after it releases, you sell 138,000 copies of your album. But your sibling releases an album around the same time, and they sell 1,459,000 copies. So because you sold 138,000 copies, you get kicked off of your record label. And your sibling is just, oh, they're just fine. They're making all the money. You got kicked out for your record label. How would you feel? How would you feel in that moment? You know what I'm saying? Like, really? Wouldn't you feel like, okay, God, what am I supposed to do? Would you quit? Would you stop doing music? Would you feel like maybe it's just not for you? Would you feel like you are not good enough? Would you feel like your sibling is better than you are? Does anybody know who this story really is about? Because this is a real life story. If you have not guessed it, this story is about, you know what? I'm not going to tell you yet. I'm not even going to tell you yet. Let me tell you what happens. Let me tell you what happens first. Actually, instead of quitting, the sibling says to themselves, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dig deeper within myself. I'm going to look at all of my hurt, my pain, my whatever is going on inside of me. And I'm going to pull myself together and do another album. And when this person pulled themselves together and did another album, it came out and it went to #1 on the Billboard charts. And the album was called A Seat at the Table. And this person's name is Solange. And you know her sister's name is Beyonce. Imagine being in Beyonce's shadow. But so she was in a space where she was really just trying to survive as an artist. But then when she went inside of herself and pulled out some of the painful stuff, some of the stuff that she was really going through, that's when she got to a space where she was thriving. And she kind of made a name for herself. People started to respect her more. She's talking about, cranes in the sky and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? When she's like, don't touch my hair. All of that we were like, oh, Solange is doing her thing. And you respected her because she wound up creating her own lane, right? So I just use that as an example because there are so many times in life where you are in a space where you're like, I don't know if I can even get to a space of thriving. I don't even know. I don't know what to do because the circumstances look like this or they look like that, right? And so let me share my story, my personal story. So I was burned at 18 months old. Let me show you. Let me make sure you can see it. Something's on my neck too. So I was burned at 18 months old. And I had 6 surgeries between the ages of 2 and 16. And I didn't look at myself in the mirror until I was 25 because I didn't want to see my scars. And so let me tell you a little bit about what life was like for me. Growing up, I just remembered feeling so different because I looked different. And understand the scars are kind of flat right now, but when I was shorter and younger, they were very thick keloids, okay? And so nobody around me was a burn survivor. Nobody, they didn't have physical scars. I just felt different, outside, that's including feeling different growing up because I was chubby with braces and a scar. And I just felt like, what am I going to do? I don't fit in. I mean, I'm telling y'all, I would wear turtlenecks in the summertime. Okay. It'll be 80 degrees outside. And as long as I can cover my scars, that's what I did. I hid myself from the world. And growing up during adolescence, I would see young girls, girls my age, 12, 13 years old, and they would wear, V-neck shirts or things like that. And I was just like, oh, I wish I could be like that. I wish I could do that. I wish, I was just in that mode, right? And so, not, fast forward, and I'll talk about a little bit, dating. Nope. Dating for me was like playing a game of Twister. Okay, you trying to make out with me, it's like playing Twister. Like, you can kiss here, but not here. You can kiss here, but not here. That kind of thing. Okay. So how I started to frame things for myself was, I can't do these things because of my scar. I can't be successful because of my scar. Everything became because of my scar. I can't show myself to the world because of my scar. How many times do we do that in our lives? Do we say to ourselves, I can't have that thing that I want because of this thing over here. I can't have a healthy relationship because I never saw a healthy relationship. I can't be wealthy because my family grew up poor. So this is why I talked about the concept of surviving to thriving. So let me share a little bit about the space that I got to when I was 25. I felt like I kept asking God the why questions. Why did this happen? I always wanted to encourage people. That was a thing that felt good to me. I always wanted to encourage people, but it was like, why? Why did this happen to me? Why couldn't I have just been normal? Why couldn't, all these questions. And one day I feel like God just put in my spirit, Audra, everybody has scars. Some on the outside and some on the inside. And that really blew my mind. Right? That really blew my mind. I was like, whoa, so I'm not alone in my journey. I think sometimes we think that everybody else's journey, the cards that everybody else has been dealt, are better than our own, but it's not true. Just because someone may not fully share what they've experienced, that doesn't mean they haven't had some serious experiences and difficult experiences. So when I got that revelation, I said, okay, well, cool. Now that I know that, let me just go out and talk to people. Let me go out and encourage people. Let me do it. And then I felt like the next thing that God said, well, Audra, I know you want to go help people and encourage people, but how are you going to encourage people and you don't even look at yourself in the mirror? I was like, ooh, touche, God, okay. I couldn't argue with that. Because the first thing we have to do within ourselves is to look within ourselves and to look at ourselves, to see what's going on here. A lot of times we're so focused on what's going on out there that we ignore what's going on in and through here. So that's the work I had to do. So it was a 6-month process of me learning to look at myself in the mirror. I had to do quick glances. I had to literally do quick glances. It was like, there we go. That's enough. And over time, I got to see myself. And then I had to take it a step further and allow the world to see me. I had to start wearing shirts that showed my scars. And what I will say as it pertains to that experience is that, oh my goodness, it was so much freedom. I had no idea how much me restricting myself and me restricting my beliefs, my mindset, believed that I couldn't. There was no way for me to do that. There was no way for me to allow people to see me. I could not be accepted. Those are my limiting beliefs about myself. So when I started doing the work, because I knew something inside of me was just like, you can't stay here. That's all it really was. You can't stay stuck like this. And so I did what I needed to do to get out of it the best way I knew how to do. And so and that really pretty much brings me here to you now. But what I have to say is that what areas do we feel stuck in? What areas? What spaces within yourself do you feel like, I feel like I would be successful if I had this thing, if I did that thing, if I met that person, that I could be successful. And let me tell you this. I truly, truly, truly believe that success in any way is really an inside job, because you can meet whoever. And if you are not fully ready within yourself, that relationship, how's that going to thrive? Because you're not ready. So it's all the inside stuff. So let's keep it going. Let's see. So we're talking about, so I want to break things down a little bit, because we're going to get into the Q&A elements very shortly. But here's what I want you to think about, because when I say I want to do like actual live, I want to break down some stuff with you guys. I don't know if there's a way for somebody to come up onto the stage with me. I would love to have that kind of conversation with them up on the stage with me, Manya, if that's a possibility. But here's what I want you guys to think about. What is a situation in your life right now? I want you to think about it. Thank you so much, Deborah. What is the situation in your life right now where you feel like you're just stuck in survival mode? You don't really see a way out of it. You're not really sure how to navigate these particular waters, because maybe you haven't experienced it. Yeah. Okay, Adam. Absolutely. Okay. So I want to actually give some steps to help to navigate things and kind of break it down. And so, yeah, in this next portion, I would love it if someone's able to join the platform. If not, then we can kind of do things from the chat. But yeah, I want to get that started. So think about that. And if you are interested in coming and sharing, just say something. Yeah. So Adam, Terry, yeah. Yes. So these are things that we're going to talk about. Okay. So the first thing, and Maya, do you have the breakdown? Because I think we might just go ahead and go right straight into the breakdown. Do you have the breakdown? It's there's like a document that I kind of sent. This document? Do you have any of that? No? Or should I just share it? Do you have that? Oh, wonderful, wonderful. You are amazing. Thank you so much. So let's talk about this. I want to talk about, just for everyone, because not everyone is going to come to the stage, or you know, we're not going to break down the steps with everyone. But here, I want you to check this out. Let's kind of walk through this together. When you're in a space of survival, it's scary. You're just trying to make it. When you're just trying to make it, you're in fight or flight mode. You're just, you know what I'm saying? You're just like, okay, your body is just trying to keep you alive, essentially. So when you're just trying to stay alive, thank you, Deborah. When you're just trying to stay alive, you're not thinking clearly. You're not thinking with all of everything that you have, all that God has given you. You're not using all of that, because you're just like, okay, I gotta, you know, if a bear is chasing you, are you thinking about how to get out of debt? Absolutely not. You are trying to survive, right? So what I'm saying is that likely what's going on is not that kind of a threat. It's not necessarily, it's like an ongoing threat. If it is addiction, if it is a health problem or something like that, it may not be like you have 10 seconds. And if you don't do something in 10 seconds, you're not going to survive. Right? So The first thing to do in your experience is not to panic in this moment. You got a bill to pay. You have rent that needs to be taken care of. Whatever the situation is, don't panic. You don't panic. Just stop. You got to stop. The whole idea of being still. Be still and know that I am God, right? That comes to mind. And you have to think about the power within yourself. I know that you have to think about the power within yourself. God is within you. Not just floating around, way over there on that, at the church down the way. God is also within you. So you have to acknowledge that, fully acknowledge it. So there's power. Let me stop. Hold on. There's power within me. Okay, cool. Now let's take it a little further. So now you stopped. You recognize that there's power within you. What do you know what? Before we even get there, let me just pull up a quick scripture for anybody that this might connect with. The kingdom, this is Luke 17, 20, 21. The kingdom of God does not come with observation, nor will they say, see here or see there, for indeed the kingdom of God is within you. So in case somebody was like, well, I don't know, that's what that says. Okay. So the power is within you. Okay. Absolutely, Kara. Yes. So now what do you want? That's the thing. Sometimes we are very unclear. We are unclear about what we want. And sometimes have you ever just asked for something and it's not really what you want? Like you just ask for the bare minimum. You like, you know what? I just want to pay rent this month. That's all I want. I just want to be able to make the ends meet. This much, I just want to just barely get by. And guess what? You done barely gotten by for the past 3 years. Think about it. So what do you want? And be clear about it. And that's why I said think higher. Because you don't really just want to survive. You really want more of an abundance in your life. So be very clear because, asking ye shall receive. So if you're asking just for the bare minimum in life, then you're going to just get the bare minimum. So maybe instead of asking, can I just pay the rent this month? Just help me get by, God. You're looking within yourself. I just want to get by. And then next thing you know, the rent is paid for that month and you have $0 left over. Is that really what you wanted? No. You want more. You want an abundance. You know what, God? I really don't want to have to worry about this anymore. I would like financial abundance so rent is easy to pay and I have joy paying this rent. That's a higher way to look at it. And what do they say? They say if God is like an ocean, you can go to the ocean with a teaspoon, or you can go to the ocean with a bucket. You can go to the ocean you can actually just put a whole hose in the ocean and just start streaming water and just getting the water and just tons of water out of there. You see what I'm saying? So it's up to you. Okay. So what do you want? Be very clear about that. And then ask the right questions. Sometimes, remember I said that I asked God, why did this happen to me? Why did I get burned? Why I have to be, why can't I look like other people? Why do I have to be like this? That's a horrible question to ask. Because guess what? My brain is going to find the answers. Well, you're like this because, God wanted your life to be hard. You're supposed to be different. You got burned and you shouldn't have pulled a cup of coffee on yourself when you were a baby. That's why you like that. You're not going to get answers with unenlightening questions. So maybe the question is, God, or you ask, just say it out loud to yourself. How can I shift my mindset so that I can receive more financial abundance? What areas in my life do I, can I, like, how can I, who can I talk to that can help me with these things? What kind of information, can I gather from someone else, from a podcast even, or whatever? How can this experience serve me overall? These are different questions you want to ask yourself. You know what I'm saying? Ask some different questions, because your brain, and this is scientific, your brain is going to find an answer. So don't you want your brain to find an answer to something that is actually going to benefit you and not make you feel bad? Right? You don't have to beat yourself up. You might be in a situation that you hate, but you ain't got to beat yourself up about it. Right? Okay. And then the next step is surrender. When you ask, when you determine what you want and you think higher, then there's an element to you that just has to be about believing, fully surrendering and believing that it is done for you and it can be done for you. And learning how to be more confident in that. Because so many times we get to a space where we're just like, yeah, I asked. And then you just sitting around preparing for it not to happen. I know I didn't sat there and said, God, I need this rent paid, but not just the rent paid, but the next 3 months of the rent paid with ease. I didn't ask for that. But just in case it doesn't happen. Really? Is that having faith? Because literally things are done for you as you believe. And that's whether you are a spiritual person and, or a religious person, or it doesn't matter. It literally is like, this is your power. That's why I said, think of the power within yourself. If you've determined in your own mind that it's not going to work, then why would it work? It wouldn't make sense for it to work, because you literally are saying, no, I don't think it'll work. Right? Okay, so surrender, have faith, prepare for the thing that you desire to come into your life. Maybe it's a relationship. If it is a health problem, it's a situation where it's like, you know what? What is it going to feel like? What am I going to feel within myself when I feel good? Where am I going to go on vacation? What kind of exercise am I going to do when I feel good? You see what I'm saying? Prepare for what is prepared for you. And then the last step is take action. Because you got to do some things. Maybe a part of what you need to do when it comes to finances, I'll just use that as an example. Yeah, you know what? Watch the Budgetnista. She talks about personal finance. Find somebody online that talks about personal finance. Put a budget together. Do all these things in faith, saying, you know what? I'm going to be the best that I can be in this moment. I'm going to do all that I can, all that I know to do. And I leave everything open for God to add the increase. I leave it open, but I'm going to do my part. All I can do is do my part. If you're looking for a relationship, okay, what stuff inside of me needs to be healed so I can be fully ready for this? And I'll use this as an example. Like if you're talking about having a garden, guess what? You can have all the seeds you want, but if the soil is rocky, you don't have any, you need more water, you need more whatever type of fertilizer. Get the fertilizer, you know what I'm saying? Look, what the garden look like. Is the soil soft? Is it ready? And then you go ahead and put those seeds in there and cover them up and sprinkle some water on there. And then you're like, oh man, you're excited. You are that soil. Do what you need to do within yourself and say, yeah, this is, oh man, I need to love, like whatever this is that you're looking for, prepare yourself for it. If you need to get some help, if you need to get assistance, you need to get some coaching, you need to get some therapy. If you need to talk to somebody down at the bank about something, if you need to talk to your friend about something, but put these action steps together and move in it in a way that makes you feel empowered, like, oh yeah, because I'm doing everything I can. And when I do everything, because think about it, when you do everything you can, guess what else you do? You say, there ain't nothing else I can do. That's where the surrender comes in. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to turn this into any type of sermon or nothing like that. But this is how we're moving from surviving to thriving, because we have to think higher. But we have to believe that it can be done for us. So that's why I said, what do you really want? Don't ask for little teeny things. Don't ask just to barely get by. You say, no, I want a life that I love. And these are ways to even get to that life that you love. And a lot of it really is not a concrete type of thing. It just really is faith and some things that have to be added into your life that you may not know where it's going to come from, but it's coming. Okay. So I have a question. Is it at all possible to go over these steps with someone about their experience, their personal experience? And of course, I just want this to be something that you feel like you are able to share in front of others. If there's anyone that is open to share, we can go through this together and kind of talk about some specific things that you can do using these particular steps. Is that a possibility, Manya? Is anybody interested? Oh, I can't hear you. Uh-oh. May I have to do it in the chat? Okay. So yeah, so here's what I would, so what we're going to do is probably have to do something in the chat. So is there anyone that would like to kind of, it's so much easier, man, I wish somebody could join, but is there a person that would like to go through this with others kind of watching, or if you were able to kind of gather this for yourself? Is there anybody that would like to kind of go through this? And you can kind of just type in your experience and then we can kind of do it that way. Is anybody interested in doing that? And it's totally okay if you're not, because I'm not trying to put everybody on blast, but I just wanted to see if anybody was interested in kind of walking through this these steps with their personal experience. Anyone? And how much time do we have? Okay. Okay, got you. Okay. So, is anyone, okay. So it looks like we may not have any takers about who wants to actually go through different steps or anything like that. If you do, feel free to pop in. But outside of going through the steps together, are there any questions? Any questions on these particular steps? Anything that you're like, I don't know about this. I'm not sure about that. Any of that? Okay. All right, y'all being shy up in here. What's going on? Okay. Okay. So, so what I will say, as it pertains to the topic, I truly believe that a lot of the work that, and you know what, Maya, maybe we can take the screen share down. Oh, Adam. Oh yeah. So, do you have any particular questions as it pertains to what we talked about? Okay. So Deborah, so you used to panic about certain things that will come through the mail. However, I've learned to take a deep breath and thinking about what I am reading. And are these like bills or certain things that will come through the mail, Deborah? So yeah, Adam, any questions as it pertains to this that you're looking to ask? Any of the steps that I shared that you might be looking to ask? Okay, so I like this that you brought this up, Deborah. So if you've been having panic about things like bills coming through the mail, here's and this is what I've learned from, there was a particular speaker that I watched, and one of the things that he talked about was the importance of actually paying your bills with joy. Right? So that might sound crazy because, you know, me growing up, it would like paying bills with joy. And I'm going to get to you, Adam. Paying bills with joy was like, what are you talking about? I don't want to pay these bills. I don't want them taking my money. But guess what that really means? That means that it will be really important for you to actually get to a space with regard to your relationship with money, where you actually have a good relationship with money. And so if I was to go back to the different steps, don't panic. It's like, okay, the power to get more money is within me. You know what I'm saying? Like the power to get more money is within me. So I don't have to panic about that. So what do you want? You want to have the kind of money where when bills come, there's joy. There's joy when the bills come. Like, wow, this is cool. I get to pay this bill. It's so easy, right? Like that's what you really want. You want it to not be a big issue. And then you ask yourself the right questions. You can even ask yourself, how can this experience help me to be more financially abundant? Well, it can teach you how not to be in a position where bills become your enemy, but bills can become your friend. See, and it was a past experience because you got to a space where you were financially stable now. Exactly. And that's wonderful. But there are so many people that are not. They're still kind of stuck in that space where they're not financially stable. So maybe for them, this can be, helpful. And so then you surrender. You say, you know what? Hey, I know what I want. I'm going to believe it. And then you go to work and put the action in. Have a budget, all these things. Learn more about, look at your money. Sometimes we don't want to look at our money when we don't like the way it looks, but you got to look at it. Like I had to look at myself in the mirror when I didn't want to. I had to look at myself in order to do the healing work to move past my experiences. Exactly. Learn to budget and learn to also make more money. How can I increase my finances? There's nothing, a lot of times, budget and all of that, but also say at the same time, God, how can I make some more? Give me some more. How about that? Because we can have whatever we want. Okay. That was awesome. Learn to give. Absolutely. Absolutely. You give away what you want. That's a spiritual principle. Spiritual principle for sure. So let's see, Adam, once you get stuck in the loop of self-deprecating, saying, I can't quit this, or I can't do this? Is there a way to break that cycle once it becomes automatic? Absolutely. Understand. First, you have to, if we're going back to the steps, don't panic. Understand that your brain, it has learned to be that way. There was one point in time in your life when your brain wasn't that way. But you understand a lot of things we pick up from our parents, from our friends, from society. So understand that you have been programmed in that kind of way, right? So you understand that. So then what do you want? You want to change the way you see things. You want to change the way you view life. You want to change something. And you want it, okay, I want to believe, I want to be in a space where I feel more confident and I feel more self-assured. And so with those things, I would really incorporate, a gratitude journal is something that helps to shift mindset, just generally speaking. And then what are the things that you're saying to yourself? If you're used to saying I can't do this, then it's kind of like, well, let's shift that. Let's start to shift that. And even if you say I may not be able to do this in this moment, but there's a part of me that can do this. I will do this, or I'm intending to do this. You see what I'm saying? Do these things. There are, you can do affirmations and things of that sort. Like, and affirmations, they have truly worked for me. Part of something I did was I realized that when I looked at myself in the mirror, I didn't, even though I was able to see myself and see my scars, if someone gave me a compliment like, oh, Audra, you're beautiful, or you're pretty, or whatever, it will go right over my head. And that's because I hadn't told myself that I'm beautiful or pretty. So I literally did, I am beautiful, twice a day, in the morning, once when I was brushing my teeth in the morning, once at night when I was brushing my teeth. In the mirror, I am beautiful. Within about 2 months, 2.5 months, it like literally felt a difference. I got a response from someone who, when they saw me 2 months later, they didn't know I was doing the affirmations. They're like, somehow you're more beautiful. Out of nowhere. I was like, wow. So it does work. So again, you can absolutely break the cycle. You just have to understand that it's something you were taught. It's something you learned, so you can unlearn some things. That's the brain, and you are in control of that as much as you can be, but just do the work and be consistent with it. I definitely believe in gratitude journals. Okay, next, do you have any books you can recommend for additional resources that may assist us in our journey of learning to thrive? So absolutely, I think there are definitely books. One book that I actually like, it's actually an audiobook that I listen to on YouTube from time to time. It's called The Game of Life and How to Play It. And it just gives a lot of spiritual principles and all those types of things as well. And just in life. Also, I'm not, I guess they call it a shameless plug, but I actually just wrote a book, How to Embrace Your Scars, Empower Your Purpose. And there I share like my whole story, but I also have, I also have questions at the end of every chapter for you to look within yourself and kind of learn how to, just certain things you can ask yourself about your own journey. And so you can move forward and move into a space of thriving and my whole thing is turn your scars into your superpower. That really is it. And then also I do have a podcast called I've Got Scars, Baby. And I talk to people on this podcast who have been through so much. I mean, I've had a guy who's had 3 kidney transplants. I've had people on this show who've experienced sexual abuse. I've had people on the show who've lost children. I've had, Tabitha Brown has been on the show. She shared her story. Like all types of people. And I think narrative therapy, this is a narrative therapy type of show. And it's on YouTube. I've got scars, baby. And people are sharing their stories. People are sharing what they've experienced in life and how they've made it through to the other side. And I think a lot of times that is really, really important. Yes, Adam. Yes. There's a part of you that can do it. Absolutely. Positive things about yourself. Absolutely. Please do those things. Affirmations. You are so, man, I'm telling you, it, understand overall, I know that we're winding down with the time, but overall, I just feel like what we're missing in life right now, a lot of times, is a sincere, honest belief in ourselves. And when I say in yourself, a lot of people are like, there's a part of us that's been taught to just look at things on the outside, to look at our circumstances, and to feel like, oh, well, because I grew up that way, or because I don't have this money now, or because I think this way now, or I look this way now, or whatever, that matters. No, it doesn't matter, because literally everything that you want is inside of you. All the money you want is inside of you. Seek ye first the kingdom, and all these things will be added unto you, right? That stuff is inside of you. And because where's the kingdom? The kingdom is within. So you have all the stuff that you want, the more money, the more love, the more friendship, the more health, the more whatever, it's within you. And everybody ain't gonna tell you that. Because people want you to buy their products. They want to tell you that the outside stuff is more important than the inside stuff. And let me read this. Hold on. Okay. So really quick, I want to speak to Evelyn Johnson. I'm definitely a believer in, yes, I think that traditional health practices and Western medicine can be very helpful, but also think about what emotional things are going on as well. And if there's a health practitioner that is a bit more on the natural side, I encourage you to seek out that kind of a person as well, because a lot of things, emotions can turn into dis-ease in your body. Deeply rooted things, resentments, depression, unworthiness, all those things. And I'm not saying that this is your experience. I'm just throwing it out there. I know we're almost done. We only have 2 minutes, but understand that health is not just physical, but it is mental and emotional as well. And all of that stuff has to be in alignment for you to have overall health. So healthy relationships, a healthy mindset. Start a gratitude journal. I encourage you to do that. Start there. Train your brain, train yourself to move in a space that is going to serve you and is going to start looking at the things. Train your mind to look at things that are beautiful, lovely, and of good report. Things that you want. You see what I'm saying? So yes, I just want to say thank you so much for this time. I appreciate you all. I had an amazing time. Thank you, Manya. I appreciate you. And yes. All right. Thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. So continue blessings to you all. And go on out there and thrive, okay? Go thrive now. Yes. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, morning, the rest of your morning and afternoon. So take care, you guys.